of you did this one? Okay. Sarah, how much did you get? Huh? 5.6. 5.6. What about you? Huh? 3.5. Okay. Who else did here? What do you get? 3.9, right? So you can see this is a 3-5 pip run. Okay, and what people are looking at is a confirmation of this break. There's no pullback, so fair enough. If you didn't trade this one, it's not wrong. But after you have 1 minute consolidation, 10, 20, 30, 40 seconds, and never get down below here, break this one, people will get in one. Right? So this was the previous high. So this one is where the most money is made. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pip run. And then if you don't get out in 10, 20, 30 seconds, 40 seconds, 50, 60, 70, 80, come down already. So now you recognize the best money is made when people get out within 1 minute. Is what 1 minute can give to you is where the most money is. Okay? What 1 minute can give to you is where most money is. So if you are the type who is trading with an 8 pip profit and you want to manually manage this one, right? You put 8 pip plus stop loss minus 6. Okay, so you look at it. If you buy in here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Below here, quite acceptable. This was the only momentary that it goes below. So this should be the line. So you have minus 6, and then you got a plus 8, right? And then you have 10, 20, 30 seconds, 40 seconds, 50 seconds. You would have chopped it out the moment it turns. Right? Then you make 1, 2, 3, 4. Nothing wrong with that, okay? But sometimes it's best to just define it by looking at, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, previous high. This will be a 5 pip run that I will go for. To determine how many pip profit I take this one, I'm just looking at this whole action. What is it trying to do? Actually, this entire action, right? This entire action is just trying to break out of a previous high. Can or cannot, I don't know, and I don't care. I know that if this build up, it is just trying to go higher than this. So I will put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the maximum. Because the moment you go across, I want to be out. That would be the ideal. You got it? How you determine which trade is for how many pip is determined this way. Okay, then after that, everybody was doing it, and so come back down. You stay out of all this, and then build up again, right? Only on the buy side. This is the line that is important. When you put your stop loss here, minus 6, then this is the imaginary line that is quite important. So you want it to be clear here before you go in. And in this particular case, you have a higher low, you have a higher low. Some people will trade this segment. Anybody traded that segment? All right. So how many pip do you get in that segment? 1.2. What about you behind? 6 pip run. So you basically traded this entire segment, right? Okay. So this is another of the 3, 5, 8 pip kind of run. Now this one is starting from here and is heading towards, test out this again. So you can count, if you're buying in from here, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? So if you put a plus 8, you will get it one. If you put a plus 5, you will sure get it. But you see how long you have to sit out? Just take a look and see, right? You must analyze in all this. No? I'm just trying to go through with you what must go through your mind when you look at your live trade and the historical trade and match them. You're trying to match out in the mind, then you say, okay, if I have taken that run, I'll be holding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 times 10, 100 seconds under 2 minutes. It's quite reasonable, right? The best rates are under 3 minutes, one. Never over 3. By the time you get to 3 minutes, still cannot decide, gone already, finish. Okay? That's why in our training process, we are so vigilant on time, meaning your holding time. Okay? I want to adjust a little bit of the KPI. I ask our training department people to revisit making the KPI a lot simpler, because I don't think it is meaningful to, for example, how fast you can get out a trade is not meaningful to me. It's too academic. As long as you are under 3 minutes for a spot trade, and as long as you're under 1 minute for scalping trade, I consider that as a good trade. So to me, it's either a good trade or a bad trade. I don't think we want to look into qualifying this trade is worth how many in index, right? So that your learning process will be very clean and focused to keep every trade that is a spot trade under 3 minutes, you consider yourself done well. Then you become very focused. When you're in, you tell yourself 3 minutes, you want to be out, and what can you do with this 3 minutes with it? Sometimes you really have to wait for, nothing wrong to wait for 120 seconds to maximize 8 pip. There's nothing wrong with that. If your KPI can afford it, meaning that you got enough money, your stop loss taken now, means you're okay. So I want to simplify some of those KPI measure in the time to come to help you achieve your goal of being a trader much easier. Right? Essentially, there are only 2 things you need to achieve as a trader. I find that some of you trying many ways to outsmart the KPI to move on to the next level. Then you look at if today, if I do 1 trade, I will cross my KPI. Then you don't mind sitting down 3 hours, do 1 trade. You know, then you lost the integrity of a good trader because you're just trying to cross a KPI. It's quite meaningless when you come to that in trading, right? Good traders are never trained like that. You just train street smart traders, but street smart traders doesn't mean they know how to trade. They just know how to outsmart the system. But when you come to real money next time on your own, it's not going to be so easy to outsmart yourself. Let's go to the 10-second chart. Current. Okay, so so you find that in an environment, I'm just trying to mix around a little bit by making sure that you constantly are able to have confidence in yourself. You see, if I lead you and I'm happy to lead you for 4 hours or 3 hours every night, not an issue. I enjoy doing that. But I need you to find confidence in yourself that if you have to do it yourself, can you do it or not? Or is it 100% loss trade one? So you find that most of you tonight actually have the basics. Of course, one of the reasons why I say, okay, give them a test today is, number one is because they delay me until like 7 something, I haven't had my dinner. So I don't think I can survive 4 hours without eating anything. So I think I better go for dinner, and then I better give you a test because I saw that the market is actually, it's not a very difficult market. It's not a ranging market, right? It'll be a market that as long as you just buy, you're okay one, right? How many of you sold today? Anybody did a sell trade? I should never do, right? Don't try to outsmart the system. Okay, I'll try to reinforce to you why you should not do, right? We have our fundamentals and principles of trading is trade the trend. Not to be a very clever trader. It takes time. I'm not saying it's wrong to sell. I'm just saying that if you have 2-3 years trading experience and you can deal with it, it's fine. But if you want to make sure that you learn the basic principles of trading so that you can survive and live a comfortable life trading, then stick to the very basics and don't allow yourself room for error. Then you will sure survive one. Okay? My job is to make sure that everybody who trades can make at least 3,000-5,000 US a month. Then it becomes meaningful. Otherwise, I think I waste your time, and I also waste a lot of my own time. Okay? So to do that, I need to make sure that your focus is to make 300 pip a month. Right? This is what we taught you in the beginning. All you need to do is to make 300 pip a month, and all you need to do is to have the confidence to trade the standard account. You will be making 3,000 US a month. To me, that is the basic survival rate, right? If you have a day job and you can make 3,000 US a month in the night, I think it's wonderful, but don't put too much pressure on yourself. You have to be a good trader to do that, because 300 pip a month is for full time. So even if you do part-time trading, only trade at night, which many of you are coming here every night to trade, then I need you to focus on making half of that. Don't try to make 300 pip a month if you're just trading the night. Okay, if you're just trading the night portion, so I will consider 1 day trading 6 hours, 3 hours in the afternoon when London comes in, 3 hours at night, the way we trade. In this 3 hours of trading from 7:30 to 11:30, that's 4 hours already, right? So in between that, assume you trade, consider as a 3-hour trading, try to make 150 pip 1 month. If you trade 1 standard account, it will be 1,500 US. If you trade 2 standard, it's 3,000 US. So you don't have to try to make 300 pip. If you just make 150 pip every month consistently and trade 2 standard lot, you are not bad already. Okay, so bear that in mind. Then you know that if you go into full-time trading, what can you achieve, right? Actually, if you do full-time trading, it's 4,000 US a month. That is meaningful to consider trading full-time. Now, if you follow that principle, this is how I want to modify the KPI to focus on. I need you all to focus on not how to outsmart the KPI and how to find ways around it by changing the time and then do 5 trades at one go and all that. I need you to focus on, to be realistic, you want to be a profitable trader. Right? Everybody wants to be a profitable trader, but that's a skill that will last you a lifetime. A profitable trader is one who can make a profit all the time. That can last you one lifetime. And to be a profitable trader, we teach you to focus on making 300 pip a month. Let's assume that your 1 month is 20 trading day. So how many pip one day? 15 pip a day, Okay? All you want to do is to make sure you make 15 pip a day. Not just 15 winning pip. I also see many people trying to outsmart the KPI because I don't want you to focus on your losses. Then you have tremendous amount of losses accumulated. Then you are lying to yourself. You know why? Because even in the current structure, when you get to skill 3, foundation 3, you basically can't cross, because that's where we take in your loss trades and make sure you can cover them. So I can see that several of you will not be able to succeed because you are focusing without the integrity of a trader. I assume that everybody wants to be a trader at very high integrity and work on the skills, not just work on how to get around the rules, right? You can get around the rules, but you will never cross it because we're also not silly, right? How do you cross over to professional one if you can't cover all your losses? There's a factor that comes in. So I find that it is not very helpful to many people in their learning process. So I want to look and give you a new focus, right? Focus on being a profitable trader is very important. Your losses will come into play. So if you start to focus on making 7.5 pip net of losses, that means P and L add together comes out with 7.5 pip every night, you will be a very profitable trader. How to make 7.5 pip? Don't try to do 17 trades and all that to make 7.5 pip. If you do 3 trades, 1.5, 1 trade 3 pip, you meet your target already for the whole night. There's no need to rush one. 4 trades, you can meet your target. It's 7.5 pip only. If you get 100% win rate. So therefore, if you start to think like that, you will want to get 100% win rate one, because your losses will kill you, right? After 4 trades, you get minus 7.5 instead of plus 7.5, So what's so good? That you have 80% win rate, but end up the whole day losing money. Then you will probably train yourself wrongly. So I teach you to try to focus on being a profitable trader, but all you need to do is to make 7.5 pip in the whole night. How to make 7.5 pip in the whole night? This is, to me, the best focus. So if you just focus on how do I make 7.5 pip tonight, then your whole trading will be very structured and very planned. This trade, why do I want to scalp if I'm not sure it can go 1.5? So don't try to keep on scalping and scalping and scalping, for example. Even in a scalping trade also, right, when you go in, you are in for 1.2, 1.5, 1.7, 1.2. That's fine, right? And you need to do a couple of those trades. And then you will just find 1 or 2 trades that you can do 3 and 5 one. Just two trades of 3 pip and 1 trade of 1.5 is already 7.5 the whole night. Just do that every night. And if you can do that consecutively, you're considered hired already. Just make sure your win rate is there. All right? Of course, there are other fine-print rules that I'll put in, which is your losses cannot be more than 6. And for spot trading, if it's a scalping trade, your losses cannot be more than 3. Right? I think that is fine. Okay, those things are not strict, not KPI driven, but we just want a trader who recognizes that these are the OB marker that you don't cross. Never hold a spot position for more than 3 minutes. That's all. If you can't comply with that, how can you be a good trader? So that one is about compliance. Okay, it's not a measure that, oh, if I hold 2.3, if my average holding time is 2.3 and your average holding time is 3, I'm a better trader than you. Not true. As long as you don't hold more than 3, you're all the same. Okay, because whether your trade is you get out in two minutes, it's not you, it's the liquidity. It's actually your liquidity of the market. You're lucky, you will get it in 2 minutes. If you're unlucky, you get it. You're very lucky, you get it. You can get 8 pips here in less than 2 minutes. That's why you're lucky. That's all. It doesn't mean that the other guy takes 3 minutes the next round and then he make also 8 pips. He's lousy trader. No, it's just that the liquidity at that point in time doesn't facilitate that kind of trade. And that's also, you cannot take these two traders and say, this one did it in 2 minutes, this one did it in 3 minutes, so the 2 minutes is a better trader than that one. It's not. Okay? Doesn't gel. As long as you comply as a trader that you do not hold any trade under 3 minutes, you should score your 1 point already. So now you use that time frame to manage your risk-reward ratio. And if you're scalping one trade, it should not be -3 and holding time under 1 minute. Ideal is 30 seconds. Then you say, oh, if this guy can do in 20 seconds, is he better trader than the guy that takes 60 seconds? It's not necessarily true. Okay, it is the liquidity of that trade at that point in time that determines whether how much you can make within what time frame. All right, not the skill of the trader. So you try to use that as a focus, and then trade the next segment to 10:30 for 1 hour. I will guide you a little bit along the way. Don't forget, New York is in. Follow the basic trend of the market, and then start again now for 1 hour. With this new mindset that I said to you, right? Just aim for 7.5 pip in one night. Don't have to do so many trades. Use a couple of combinations of trade to get to the 7.5 pip. And when you do enough of this, I think you will probably learn the habits of a good trader. All right, so let's mark out the 1 hour chart and show that the trend has turned.